Hey, what's cracking everybody? Welcome back to Computer Games Hardware. We are looking at a hardware repair video. Some of you that have been on the channel for a little while might remember my father-in-law, Computer Games Johnno. He's had an issue with one of his PCs not turning on. We have a HP Elite Desk 800. I think it's the first generation, so it's from 2014, 2015. This is the small form factor version of it, and it's running a Core i5 4th generation CPU, which has about 3.8 gigahertz CPU in there. So for what John does, it's perfect for him. Still runs well. He reported that it's not turning on. He turned it off one day and it just didn't turn back on. So he suspects that the power supply has gone bad. So we're going to open it up, have a look, see what's wrong with it, and see if we can't get it fixed up for Johnno. So strap in, get ready, and let's have a look at some hardware. So as you guys might know, Johnno is one of our biggest followers. He is a tech and hardware nut, and he is always providing us with a lot of gear and stuff like that. So just opening it up, it looks pretty clean. It's got two hard drives in here. Quick tech tip here: if you want a good PSU wattage calculator, I highly recommend Cooler Masters one. This is a what is it? We've got an Intel 4th gen, so that's LGA 1150. So we just want to make sure we've got this 4590. All right, so the Core i5 4590 produces 84 watts. We've got a micro ATX motherboard. With the motherboard, it's 144 watts. We've got two 8 gigs. Quantity 2. So we're at 150 watts, and then 2 HDDs. So we've got the 3.5. We've got 2 of those, and an optical drive, which is a DVD-ROM. Alright, so this system is currently outputting 200 watts, so it's got an extra 40 watts of headroom, so that doesn't look like the problem to me. So let's have a look. Let's get the power supply out and test it and see whether it is the problem. If you ever want to do any hardware repairs, I always highly recommend getting yourself a precision screwdriver kit. I will link to mine in the description as well. This is just a really cheap one off Amazon. The driver itself is a little bit crooked. I don't know if you can see it like that, but you know, good value, nice, good quality product. It's you know, really cheap. I think I got this one for under 15 bucks. And let's get stuck into it. Now, these AIB systems usually, you know, it's got one of those you know, system built hard drives where everything pulls out like that. There's a mess of wires, and you know, I don't mind these systems, to be honest with you. What I hate is when they limit them via software or hardware so you can't put them into other systems. But this is not one of those cases, unless there's something that error checks if it's not in a HP system. I'm not too sure, but let's pull the power supply out and see if we're getting any voltage into it. All right, so let's unplug that. Let me see. So power supply. So this is a little baby power supply. Also CPU power. So can I get that? It has a little bit of a comb for the CPU fan, so the intake blows out all the hot air, because there's not much air intake from these sort of old school cases. Pull out the air cooler first. No, we got it. Okay. Now the other thing I love about these AIB systems is most of them are just all one screw. HP systems, really good for that. Now that should just come, oh wait, it has a little tab that you pull out and that pulls out from there. So there you go, there's our power supply. Alright, let's just do a quick test on the voltage for this, see if we're getting any voltage into the PSU. My apologies. So we'll plug that into our power gusset just here and get our tester. Let's have a look. No power. So we are not getting any power to that, so it looks like it's going to be a simple yep, so we're getting power at the gusset. We are not getting any power through the PSU, so that means that the power supply is almost certainly dead. So let's unplug that. Alright, so we've got to get ourselves a PSU. So it seems like it's going to be a simple swap out for the PSU. Let's do a little bit of a clean of the inside. So that will be good news for Johnno. He's only in it for about 30-40 bucks for a new PSU. The issue is that we'll have to find one. So we're just going to do a little clean of this system and oh shit, it looks like we have another problem. It looks like we have a little bit of damage on the PCIe lane. It looks like it's melted a little bit. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see it there, but we've got a little bit of melting. That is not good. So let's have a look. Just turn that this way. Let's tear this thing down and see if we can see anything on the back, because there is a little bit of damage on the PCIe lane and I'm a little bit concerned about that. Shit, now looking at it as well, it looks like there's some damage on the CMOS housing as well. Oh shit, that is loose too, the CMOS battery. It's in there, but it's loose. Let's get this thing apart and see if we can't diagnose the issue. It looks like there has been a short somewhere. So I'm not sure what happens, but I do know that John has a pretty wild setup. It looks like we've had a power surge, and I'm a little bit worried that this motherboard is going to be dead as well. So that's not going to be good news. We're going to have to speak to Johnno and see if it is even worth upgrading. Johnno is a bit like me. He likes, you know, his gear and keeping it. You know, he's an advocate of right to repair. So let's get this thing torn down and see what we can see. Here, so you can see here, I think John actually upgraded the, he put a Wi-Fi card in here, so I think we got it for him off Amazon for a couple of bucks. Let's get that out there. So that's a nice little TP-Link Wi-Fi card. So we'll just put that there safely. Let's get all these things. So we can leave the all the hard drives in place. Just got to be gentle with these ones. This one has like custom USB and front panel I/O connections that you might have to short out to make this thing work in a different system, but we're not doing that today. So you can still chuck a you know, a GPU in this, get something for under $100 and, you know, play Fortnite or something like that. So you can still do something like that, which is pretty cool. These disconnected. Okay. And what you can do, you can just pump all these cables in the shields here. Good. So it makes me wonder, what are those? That is USB as well. So front panel runs on USB. I'm a little bit worried now. That is the power button there. The power button might be an issue, so we might just have a look at that as well. I don't think it is though. Take the air cooler off. 1, 2, 3. When you do this, do it evenly. So I do 3 or 4 turns on each side of the cooler to make sure it comes out nice and easily and one side doesn't spring out disastrously. So you'll hear the ping on that. And like I said, really good with these systems that you only need one of these VEX connections to be able to tear it down. So I'm just going to unplug the fan as well. Okay. Alright. So as you can see, this thing's pretty clean. We've got a little Cooler Master CPU fan. We've got a nice thermal paste application. Always clean. CPU looks nice and good. Geez, lucky we caught this. I decided to do a video. I was just gonna swap the power supply out and call it a day, and then we would have been in for a bad time then if we didn't decide to do a cheeky little video on it. There you go. Nice little cooler, nice and clean in there, so there's no issues with the CPU. Alright, so this is a 3.3 gigahertz CPU. It is an Intel 4590 Core i5. Good little CPU. Let's get this motherboard out. Okay. Again, it doesn't really matter about the screws because they are all the same. So you can see that the motherboard screws are same as the PSU screws. So not really a big issue. Put them on our magnetic mat so we don't lose them. This has become a slightly more complicated repair than I anticipated. When removing the motherboard screws, by the way, I generally like to go on the outside and then go inwards to leave the couple of screws that leave the motherboard in place. No, okay. Alright. So, if you can see there, don't know if you can tell there, but the PCIe lane has a little bit of damage on it, and then further to that, look how loose this is. So that is falling off. The CMOS battery is falling off, and actually I can hear something. Can you hear that? So we have a piece of metal rolling around here that has kept it. Oh yeah. Oh boy. Alright, it looks like someone's tried to repair something on here, because can you see the damage on the board there? I don't know if you can tell, but it is where the CMOS battery is connected. We've got a little piece of metal that's been rolling around on the board. So it looks like there was a short, something heated up, and there was a, oh yeah, look at this. The CMOS battery is completely coming off. You can see the damage right there, so that's not good. So this is actually the second time this kind of damage has happened to Johnno with his setup. So I'm a bit worried that he's having a power surge every so often, and his power strips, and with the amount of stuff he's got connected, might not be able to handle it, because we've seen this kind of damage before. Last time it was some of his capacitors blew. Someone's done a pretty bad repair job on this, and it looks like it was only a matter of time. Okay guys, so we've got a slight issue here. We have a burnt out motherboard. The CMOS battery has come off. There was a piece of solder that had been broken off and rolling around there. So I think someone's repaired this poorly, and potentially John's had either a power outage, or that little piece of loose solder has caused a short, which has made the CMOS battery come loose and destroy the system and the motherboard. So this one is no good, but a bit of a I suspected that it was the PSU, so we went ahead and got one anyway. But now it looks like we're going to have to go fishing for a motherboard as well.
Oh, he's done me. He's taken me right under.
No, totally.
He's done me.
So this isn't the news John wanted to hear. It's going to be a bit of an upgrade. So what we're going to do is find some motherboards. Okay, good news guys. We have found a vendor that has a replacement motherboard, but relatively cheap. So we've got one for 30 bucks. So that makes this a $80 repair. I've spoke to Johnno. He's more than happy. He thinks it's worth it. So we're going to go hunt down this new motherboard, and we will be right back. Hey, just want to jump in here and say, if you're enjoying any of the content on Computer Games Hardware, please chuck us a like, share, and subscribe. Watching the videos really helps me out. So thank you everyone for watching. Alright guys, we are back, and we have our new motherboard. The seller was a PC hardware repair guy, so he'd done all the testing on it and could show me that it was in good working order. So really happy with that. Got it for around 30 bucks. So that is pretty good news. And I just want to point something out. So you can see that. So the CMOS battery, that's what the back of the CPU should look like. This is where we had those bad solders, and the guy that I bought this off actually said he'd seen that a couple of times before. But I want to point out, this is the CMOS from the other motherboard. On this motherboard, it's a completely different battery socket. So I think there was issues with that before. Someone's tried to replace it with what looks like a dodgy CMOS battery and some bad solder, which you can see right there. So guys, if you don't know what you're doing when you're soldering, just don't do it. Just take it to a computer repair shop. Get them to do it for you. Better to pay, $100 than destroy something yourself, or potentially have like a fire hazard situation. There is solder just like burnt on to this motherboard that you can see. So it's surprising that it worked for as long as it did, but there was a short, or this solder came loose and shorted something. I don't know what's happened, but this thing has worked for a long time with it like that. So I don't know when that was done, but it clearly didn't work. Now I've lost that little piece of solder. So please avoid doing that, particularly with these old computers, when you're only in for like, 30 bucks for a new motherboard is better than going and just potentially burning your house down. We're also going to have a chat with Johnno about we got him. I've got a spare power surge protector board here that he can plug all of his hardware into. When we did the when we remodeled the set of computer games hardware, we changed around the orientation of the desk here, and I needed a longer power board, so I bought a surge protector one with child safe things because I've got kids running around here. So Johnno can have the whole old one. It's the exact same model. It will serve him well, and hopefully stuff like this won't happen again. So I'm not sure that it was John's fault at all with the dodgy repair on the board, but we've got a new board now, so let's put that in. All right, so what was supposed to be a quick and easy plop out has been a bit of a nightmare, but we are back. Let's get this motherboard in, that main screw in. I always do this one first when we're putting in the screw, so the reverse procedure to make sure it's nice and in there and it is solid, and then we go back around. This thing hopefully should last quite some time, so that is pretty good. Motherboard is in now. Shout out to the seller who cleaned this board as well. You saw the gunk and ick on the old motherboard. This one's nice and clean, so I didn't even have to spend much time. I just gave it a bit of a blow with the data vac, which was all it really needed, and I also did the inside of the case as well. This is our Intel Core 4590. It's a 3.3 gigahertz CPU, Intel's 4th generation. We're just going to give that a real good clean. Got some debris. Even though I cleaned it, you want some isopropyl alcohol because look how much shit can come off that there. So CPU is locked in. We'll get everything loaded in now. We'll get everything connected, and then we will test our new PSU. So connect that. USB 3 for getting everything back together. This is also pretty color coordinated, so it's pretty hard to miss where you're connecting or you're connected to. So this is that front panel IO that I was talking about. So you can actually see there is a standard front panel IO, and then there is a yellow one just above it. So I would imagine if you put this in another system, you would connect it to the black front panel IO, but this is for the USB. It looks like for the front USB. So I would imagine you would have to connect this somehow to make it run. It might come up with a USB error if you were trying to make this a non-HP system. So I'm sure that people have figured out ways around that. You can buy little gadgets that fit on that short out so you don't get the error and stuff like that. John's already got a pretty beefy gaming system, so he doesn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. A little bit of cable management goes a long way. Make Johnno feel like he's getting some value for money. Much better. And if we need to come back in here again, we can see all of our traces. Let's get this power button reconnected. Now, a lot of these systems have trouble with their power button slipping out from being turned off and on all day, being a computer workstation. So if you're ever doing this, please have a look at the power system for these Elite Desk 800s. You can save yourself a lot of grief by just reseating the power button correctly. We've got 2 sticks of RAM here, and they're different types of RAM. Okay, they are the same, but you know what? We have a whole bunch of RAM that we've harvested from some of John's old computers that he has given us over the years. So let's see if we've got some better RAM. Alright, we can see I've got my box of goodies here. I've got a whole bunch of RAM, some hard drives and stuff like that, and a lot of this stuff has been harvested from systems where Johnno has kindly donated to us. So let's have a look. Okay, alright, so these are 1 gig, so I'm not going to give him those. Got some G-Skill here. Let's have a look at these. G-Skill 128. Yeah. So we've got some pretty nice DDR3 G-Skills, but unfortunately they're only 2 gigs. So that would be a bit of a downgrade. And then we've got another one of those 1 gig sticks. But what we do have is some of these slimline. All right, we've scored a winner. So these are 8 gig, 1600 megahertz DDR3 kits. So this is a bit of an upgrade for Johnno. All right, so they are pretty cool. Perfect. All right, get out of the way. All right, everything is in as it should be. Now we just need to mount the air cooler. We're gonna put in some MX6 thermal paste in this bad boy, so that is a good helping of thermal paste. All right, we are cooking with gas. Now, these have a specific orientation because you'll notice here that the CPU fan only has a certain amount of length on it, so that prevents you from putting it in any other way. So go put that down. That goes in like that. Keep a finger on it and we will get this pressed down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go crisscross. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Okay, so that's in nice and tight. I probably should have installed the fan. We are in. And we're in. Alright, quick double check. We still got to get the power supply in. Alright, so we got a new power supply the other day when we started this project. Alright guys, so it's time to test the new power supply here. So let's get this thing tested. Alright, so this thing is working as intended. Let's get it in. Okay, these brown and black cables go to the CPU power. That is just a little 4-pin there. So then we have a little 6 power, P1, and then P2 goes like that. We've got our new PSU in, we've got our new board in. So let's just hook her up and see if we get some power. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see that, but the green light is on. And our system is running. Hey! Johnno's going to be pretty happy. I'm pretty happy. New system. Got a beep there. So let's cut the power. Fantastic. That is really good news. John's going to be pretty happy. new system. He's got his system up and running. Let's give it a clean. Get our power supply locked in there. And we are done. Alright guys, so we've got this computer up and running. It's time to break the good news to old Nonal John and give him the big reveal. So, I just want to show you something. Alright, hang on a sec. Let's get it started. We've got your computer here. And let's have a look. Let's do the big reveal. So, we changed out the motherboard.
Yeah.
We changed out the power supply. After we got it, and this is the big reveal. So here we go.
Wow.
We got some lights, and it looks like we're up and running.
Here we go. You
That's
got
all?
it going.
All done.
Beautiful. Back in business.
Yeah, back in business.
Thank you so much, Matt.
No worries.
Appreciate that.
All done. All right.
Well
so
done.
I've just got to set it up for you.
Did you lose any of the stuff on C drive?
Nah, everything's still good.
So I have some videos and stuff that I wanted to keep.
That's all good. Hi, Harps. How are you, buddy? Say
Good.
hi to everyone on Computer Games Hardware.
Say hi.
You're going to be on the video.
Ah!
Anyway,
Well
we're cooking
done.
with gas, so it's all good now.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll bring it over in the next day or two.
I'll catch up with you on the weekend.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, Johnno.
I appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Harps.
See ya.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. John's got his PC back. All his data and stuff's retained. He's got some videos and stuff there that he wanted to keep along. So everything's back to normal. I've really enjoyed making this one. I hope you've had a good time watching it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.